What's up, guys? This is JC from Car Valor, back at it again with another video. Today's video is going to be the pre-analysis for Photon Hypernova for branded Bystials. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the last video for my analysis on the branded Bystials. This time it's going to be more of a sneak peek since I am in Japan. I have the Japanese cards right here early before release. I've had these for a while and I've been meaning to do this. I just didn't know how to deliver it. So we're going to talk about each card, and then after that I'll talk about my ratios and what I think about each effect. We'll get started with Bystial Baldrake. So Bystial Baldrake reads, you can target one light or dark monster in either graveyard, banish it, and if you do, special summon this card from your hand. This is a quick effect if your opponent controls a monster. If your opponent special summons a Ritual Fusion Synchro, Exceeds, and or Link monsters, except during the damage step, you can tribute one other light or dark monster, then target one of those summoned monsters, banish it. You can only use each effect of Bystial Baldrake once per turn. Okay, let's talk about the pros and cons. Pros. This is huge removal for any extra deck monster that comes onto the field, including a ritual. So you can get rid of a lot of choke points for a lot of decks whenever this guy is on the field. And also you can proc off other graveyard effects that it tributes off, including Tragedy, to name a few. Alright. So Tragedy is a good example right there. And yeah, this is a good one of for me. And I think this will replace my second or third Druid Swarm, because this is also spot removal just like Druid Swarm is. Only this is on the field and it's not a graveyard effect, which usually gets outed by Abyss Dweller right now. So I actually did a remote regional and I could not resolve Druid Swarm to save my life. But in the near future, Bystial Baldrake will either be a 2 of or 1 of, in my opinion. Next up is Grand-Guignol, the Finale Dragon. For the fusion summoning requirement for this card, Blazing Cartesia the Virtuous plus 1 light or dark monster. If this card is fusion summoned, you can send one level 6 or higher light or dark monster from your deck or extra deck to the graveyard. If a monster is special summoned by an opponent's activated monster effect, except during the damage step, you can banish this card from your field or graveyard. Special summon one Dogmatica monster from your deck or one Despy monster from your extra deck. You can only use each effect of Grand-Guignol the Finale Dragon once per turn. Let's talk about this card real quick. So, this makes Cartesia really, really good, but Cartesia is still technically, to me in my book, going to be a 2 of. Now, some people might argue you can do 3, but I think 2 is the perfect ratio for Cartesia. Also, it's a fusion deployment target along with Albaz now, so fusion deployment has more targets in our deck, which is great. On top of that, we'll talk about its effects. So, you can send one level 6 or higher light or dark monster. So you can send Lebellion, and then you can send Serenir, but usually Serenir gets actually fused with this card, or fused into this card. Serenir will dump a branded spell trap, and it's usually branded Retribution and or branded light, or branded in white. There is a 2-card combo that includes this card, and it's insane, and it can make you like 5 cards on the field with like 6 or 7 interruptions. So, and on top of that, this can tag out. So right now it can only tag out into 2 monsters, and it's Despian Quiritus and Despian Priscinian. When Cyber Storm Access comes out, there's gonna be a lot more, and it's gonna be insane. So be on the lookout for that, because I already have those cards, and I'll probably do a pre-analysis on Cyberstorm Access. Next up is Lindworm the Hammer Dragon. For the fusion summon requirement of Lindworm the Hammer Dragon, Fallen Valbaz plus 1 Beast, Beast Warrior, or Winged Beast monster. When a fusion Synchro Exceeds or Link monster's effect is activated, quick effect, you can negate that effect, then you can return 1 monster on the field to the hand. During your opponent's turn, if this card is in your graveyard, quick effect, you can target 1 Fallen Valbaz in your graveyard. If both are still in your graveyard, special summon either that monster or this card, and if you do, banish the other. You can only use each effect of Lindworm the Hammer Dragon once per turn. This is possibly one of the best fusions for the Albaz lore. So it's a negate, but it's not a powerful negate. The only thing that it negates are extra deck monsters, which is it's okay. It's good. It's good. We'll take that negate. And then on top of that, it has a spin effect, which is amazing. So you can negate the effect and then bounce it back to the hand. So and it doesn't have to be the monster that got summoned, right? Or the monster that activated its effect. You can literally negate the effect and then bounce either your cards or their cards. So normally I use this effect on my turn, on turn 0, to basically make a Mirror Jade play and negate the effect of that Mirror Jade and then bounce my Aluber that's on the field. And you'll see it in some of my replays at the end of this video. So on top of that, there is that quick effect from the graveyard. So you can easily fuse with Fallen of Albaz with your opponent and get that super poly effect by just banishing this. So, or using this effect and banishing this. The 4th and 5th card, it's going to be branded in light, or branded light, and branded inevitability, or inevitably branded, or something like that. Depends on the translation. We'll talk about branded light first. Branded light's effect reads: target one fusion monster on the field or in either graveyard. Return it to the extra deck. Then you can special summon one Fall of Albaz from your graveyard and one monster from your opponent's graveyard to their opponent's field. You can only activate one Light of the Branded per turn. So, Branded Light. I'm going to call it Branded Light because it's a lot easier to say. Branded Light, in my opinion, is a very niche card. And I don't think I've seen anyone try to mess around with it. So, this would be an immediate one of for me, if not 0. If I was to test it, it would be a one of. And then the only reason why it'd be a one of is because it's easily searchable with Aluber and Albion whenever Albion's in the graveyard in the end phase. So this can easily like make your Albaz plays, but whenever I end my boards, most of the time Albaz is either in the graveyard or in the banish pile, or it's back in the deck. Next up is going to be Branded Inevitable. Branded Inevitable's effect reads: once per turn, when your opponent activates a card or effect that targets one bestial monster you control and no other cards, or when your opponent activates a card or effect in response to your bestial monster's effect activation, you can target one light or dark monster in either graveyard. Banish it, and if you do, negate that activated effect. Okay, so this is a technical negate, but we would have to run a lot of bestials. We would probably run like practically all of them at high ratios, which I don't think is good. So this is searchable off Lebellion instead of Branded Beast. So I guess it kind of makes it's good, but I don't know. I wouldn't even say this is a one of in the deck. I mean, if you wanted to try it, definitely one of. I wouldn't put this up more than one because it's a trap, and traps are slow in this day and age in Yu-Gi-Oh. That's it for the 5 cards. If you were to play this deck, I would consider picking up at least a playset of Bystial Baldrake, at least 2 of Grand-Guignol, the Finale Dragon, and then at least 2 of Lindworm. Last part of this video is going to be the replay on EDO Pro, and it's going to showcase you guys like how these cards perform. So if you guys like this video, please consider leaving a like and maybe even subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Keep pulling.